So the return of Mudvayne in 2021 was brought to you by a lot of fans who sat back and wanted Mudvayne for years. So Mudvayne decided to come out of retirement, or come out of what they were saying was a hiatus, because they took off in 2009 and did not perform as a group until 2021 after the pandemic. And a lot of people were saying, well, Mudvayne isn't what they once were. Went to these music festivals, watched Chad, and they said Chad's voice is not the same that it once was. They said it sounded horrible. I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, yeah, I seen them in Tampa, Florida in 2022. It sounded horrible. It's not worth it. They're not the band they once were. And then speculations of the band making new music has circulated, where they were saying, hey, they've been working on new music, but Chad has said we might not be doing music. Basically, he's saying in a recently new interview from Rockfeed that they might be considered a catalog band. And what a catalog band is a band that only plays the hits.
You know what I mean? How this rolls and stuff. And make sure we still have, people that want to hear Mudvayne music. So far, that's been what it is. And it's just like we're just focused on playing catalog. We know that's what people want to hear.
And fans don't want to see anything else. So, getting to 2023, where they're on tour with Butcher Babies, Guar, Nonpoint, and Cold Chambers. From my own research, they opened the show up in West Palm Beach, Florida. The show was not sold out. Then they go into the next night to play in Tampa, Florida, where I went to see the show. They played a 16,000 seat amphitheater and maybe had 2,000 people that showed up. Then from resources, they go to play Charlotte, North Carolina, where they don't have a big audience. Is it that the spark that they had in 2021 at Welcome to Rockville in Daytona Beach, Florida, is no longer there because they're not producing new music, they're not producing anything that is fresh, so people are like, yeah, because you took so much time off, they're not once they once were. If you think about it, guys, Mudvayne, if they would have never took a hiatus, would be, in my opinion, as big as bands like Slipknot today. They were ahead of their time, playing the biggest shows in the world, and they were very aggressive, and they transitioned their sound very well from Dig to Not Falling to the song Happy. So Mudvayne returned in 2021 to Welcome to Rockville in Daytona Beach, Florida, and they had a huge crowd of like 50,000 people coming out to their shows, wanting to see what they were all about, right? Because everybody was clamming for the Mudvayne reunion. Everybody was saying this is the biggest thing. And that's why a lot of people went to the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival, is because they were glad to see Mudvayne back and back at the top of their game. Because if you think about it, rock doesn't have a lot of heavy hitters out today. So we all, as rock fans, clam for the old acts to come back, make new music, play their ass off, and we enjoy the shows that we once seen in our youth. And Chad was asked, do you like any modern band? His reply was, I like Slaughter to Prevail. They're aggressive, they're heavy, and have you ever heard that cover of Dig? It's so heavy it's not even funny.
Dude, fucking rad. Hell yeah. I love that fucking band. They're so good. Fucking heavy as fuck.
Dude, the cover, did you hear the cover of Dig? He did. It's like a playthrough.
Holy shit. Dude, it is heavy as fuck.
But as rock music proceeds to get better, heavier, more violent, more aggressive, will we see bands like Slipknot, Mudvayne just becoming major catalog bands and not releasing any new music and going down the rabbit hole of like a Metallica, Rush, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, that only play the hits and they don't really play anything outside of that. So, do I think Mudvayne is a band for everybody? Well, Chad says Mudvayne is a band that's not for everybody.
Mudvayne's not for everybody. You know what I mean? We're a little bit prog. You know what I mean? We're a little bit math metal, and fucking it's not the easiest listen.
So I still think today rock and metal music is one of the biggest genres that's not commercialized. You don't hear it on the radio, you don't hear it on MTV, you don't hear it on all these other platforms, right? But places like Welcome to Rockville, that has 150,000 people to show up to the Daytona International Speedway every May. Coming up in September, you're going to have the Blue Ridge Rock Festival in Virginia at the Virginia International Speedway with over 144 artists, with approximately 11,000 campers that are going to be camping on site, with approximately 144,000 people showing up. So that still tells me that rock music is one of the biggest genres and the biggest passion. So bands like Slipknot, Mudvayne, Papa Roach, they still have outlooks to play the biggest shows in the world. So with that being said, are you excited about the new Mudvayne, possible new music? Are you excited about festivals? Or do you just care about catalogs that are hits, and that's all you go to shows for, is to hear the hits? You don't want to hear anything new. But as always, that's my take on, is Mudvayne still one of the biggest bands in the world? Right now, from the numbers that I see for their new tour that's going on right now, they're not as a hot selling item as they once were. Maybe it's the lack of new music, maybe it's the lack of younger people knowing who they are, but for me, I thought the show was phenomenal. I thought they still put on a great show. But Chad is right. Mudvayne is not for everybody. They're a genre. They're a band that puts out extreme heavy music that might not fit everybody's taste. But as always, it's your boy Trevor, back with another video, baby.